There are times in the middle of life I was silent. Be silent about past mistakes, the hurt we unconsciously plant in the hearts of others. And sometimes, my heart breaks for what I can't do, things we can't go back to fix. But also in that moment, when the soul comes down, that's when we get a chance to go back. Back to yourself, back to mindfulness, and return to the great compassion that the Buddha taught. Today, please join us on a journey of repentance. Not to blame yourself, but to identify and transform. A journey through the darkness of ignorance and hatred, to seek the light of love, of tolerance and of awakening. Dear, have you ever sat quietly at night, but suddenly remembered a word that made that AI sad? Or an act of indifference that causes that AI pain? Have you ever, you shed tears just because you were the wrong person? Life is also at fault. What's wrong is not understanding. What's wrong with being weak when you let go of yourself, or when the stubborn won't listen? But there's one thing more important than making a mistake. That's the fault. Do we dare to face to realize, and brave enough to let go or not? Once upon a time, there was a middle-aged man. He came to the temple at the end of the year. He didn't say much, just quietly kneeling down in front of the Buddha and crying. After a long time, he said quietly, "All my life I thought I was right. Until the daughter, I don't talk to you anymore," he told, because he's so worried about the future that he's in control, scolding even, hurt you with words full of pressure. You don't know. Every word is like a knife. It's the girl you love the most. Now I'm just looking forward to hearing him call you again, without knowing where to start again. Big boy I used to be. I've hurt people before, without even knowing. I used to think I was good, until you realize, then what's true is that it comes from bigotry and goodness. Sometimes it's full of ignorance. Have you ever asked yourself if I've missed a word with AI? Do you ever think, I wish I had been quiet and listened more? And maybe you feel like you need to be forgiven. Mistakes are not just for pity, but also to know that we have people. There are no mistakes in life. To understand yourself is to step out of ignorance. My teacher used to teach, repentance is not to torment, but to wake up. Repentance is a lamp lit in the dark. To see the way again, to step out of the dark, to start again with all sincerity. When we admit our faults, we are not weak. On the contrary, we're stronger than ever. Dare to lower your ego and open your heart. Dear, don't let it be the end of your life. Sorry for the words I didn't say. The arms can't be hugged, and the pain is not healed. Because when we realize we're wrong, it's also when we learn something deeper. Forgive those who are compassionate. Forgiving yourself is wisdom. Or if you're listening quietly to these words, maybe somewhere in your heart is shaking, and that's a sign of a return. Return to a repentant mind. Return to humility and return to yourself. After years of forgetting, Nam Tissue Bridge Penance Bodhisattva Nam Tissue Compassion Release. Take a deep breath and move on to the next part, where we learn to transform anger. Let your heart be as peaceful as the morning. Have you been angry with that person for a long time? They are so angry that they just need to hear their names. That your heart has boiled for a lifetime? Sometimes you are so angry, you no longer recognize who you are. Anger is a small fire, but if you don't know how, I will burn down the forest of peace in my heart. I once met an older woman. To the temple in the late afternoon. She sat in the corner for a long time. And then suddenly he said something to me. I am angry that my mother is 35 years old. I'm so tired now. I was silent. She told me her childhood was full of reproaches. Our OI for no reason. There's resentment in her heart. I never set out. 35 years later, she married with children. But my dream every night is still my mother's shadow, angry and cold, waiting for your mother to die. I still can't let go, I'm afraid. Eventually you will be like me, is it? I too have held such a grudge. Are there people we don't want to see again? But in my heart I always remember. Are you angry? Sometimes it's just the outer jacket, to cover the pain deep inside. Dear, please close your eyes for a few seconds. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what am I angry about? Sometimes we are angry at others, but I'm actually angry at myself. They drink poison and hope others die. It's a familiar phrase, but how many people really understand it? An old Zen master was asked, "Sir, is there a way to reduce anger?" He smiled and replied, "When you're angry, don't say anything. Don't say anything when you're angry. Only when the heart has really calmed down, come back and wonder what's in us that causes that anger to arise. Who are you angry at? In fact, I sowed bitter seeds to pick unwholesome fruit. Let go of a little anger like the sky. No more storms. When you're angry at a friend, do you sleep well? When you're angry, are you really happy? When you are angry, do you ever... You look at where that anger comes from. Anger is a deep delay. It's not born naturally. It's often from old wounds that don't heal. Expectations are not answered. Misunderstandings that no one can explain. Love is not seen properly. The Buddha taught that we cannot extinguish fire with fire, nor can hatred be dissolved by hatred. Only compassion and forgiveness can stop suffering. Dear friend, if there are still people in your heart who make you angry, let's start today with a curse. May they have great peace. Not let them forgive you. Not for you to win. It's about letting yourself be free. Be gentle. Live like a person on the road. Waking up with anger tightens the heart. Let go of the spring. You may not be able to change others, but you can always choose how to live. Don't let anger lead the way. Have you ever seen? There are people who have had enough but still haven't seen enough. There are people who have a lot of hands, but in my heart is still empty. Greed is like a bottomless well. No amount of water can be filled. Because of what it lacks, it's not material. It's the fullness inside. I had the opportunity to meet a successful man. I have a beautiful car, a good wife. But you came to me one night, tired eyes full of emptiness. You said you've spent most of your life looking for more. But the more I feel missing. I don't know where I'm going now. I just silently look at you. In those eyes there is everything but nothing. Because the mind never stops, never knows enough, and deep down there's a silent hunger for peace. I used to be like that. I thought I just needed a little more money, a bigger house, a better car. Then I'll be happy. But the more I have, the more I want. And the more I get, the more tired I get. Have you ever looked back? What are you living for? What in life keeps you busy? Non-stop. And how much is enough for a heart to be content? The poor are not poor because they have nothing, but because in the heart forever not fit. Rich people are not for money, but knowing enough to let go. There's a woodcutter who lives in a little hut by the forest. Every day, he just cut a bunch of wood for a few dollars to buy salt rice. Someone who looks also said, "Why don't you cut more? Earn more and live better." Not laughing. I have time to watch the forest and listen to the birds. I'm just tired of 3. I can't see the sun anymore. Greed is not in the money we have. It's that we have time to smile, to hold you to watch the sunset or not, Pham Lam Bank Tunnel, they make us lose the most precious things. A meal with parents, an afternoon sitting with myself, a cup of tea in no hurry. The Buddha once taught, people who know enough are the richest. It is enough to know that when you eat 8 rice, you will be happy. Is walking barefoot on the ground, but the heart is still safe as walking in the clouds. Dear, we don't have to throw everything away. You just have to stop at the right time, not to go backwards. It's about finding what's important. A grateful heart does not need the sword of the throne. You just need to be gentle. No need to hold money. Just know enough peace. If you find that your heart is still running, still hungry for something vague, please sit back. Take a deep breath. Look back in your heart, you've got more than you think. And from today, learn how to sow a seed. Know enough, even if it is enough to smile, or just enough of an unhurried afternoon. Because sometimes happiness doesn't lie in adding something. It's how much we let go. Dear, have you ever felt like you were walking? Go very fast. I'm in a hurry, but I don't know where I'm going. Sometimes life is like a driverless car. I'm sitting in there and I'm going forward. Eyes on the road, but Tim doesn't know the direction. I thought I was alive. But actually, it just exists in the midst of so many dreams. That's ignorance. What doesn't see, doesn't understand, doesn't know itself about life of cause and effect. And it's ignorance that makes us lose our way. I met a man in his 50s. Sitting in the main hall, looking up at the Buddha, tears fell silently. He said, "Master, I now have a house with a name and status. But the more I feel empty. Sometimes I wonder what I'm living for. But I can't find the answer." I didn't say anything, I just gave him a cup of tea and said, "Have a cup of tea?" I know the tea is hot. I'm starting to see one thing clearly. Seeing reality is the first step in awakening. He burst into tears, inner dialogue, like an echo from deep inside the listener. I used to go like that. Through the months of hasty running in the name of profit. Follow the light and forget the light in your heart. It's like thinking you're strong and free. But it turns out he's the one who's bound the most. By the thought itself, my illusions and my desires. Dear, try closing your eyes now. And ask yourself a simple question. What am I living for? Then ask one more question. Does that really make me happy? If your heart is confused, if your heart goes down, maybe you've just reached the gateway to consciousness. Light poetry opens up depth from within. In the middle of the street, his eyes are bright and his soul is lost in the mist. Wake up to the impermanent dream of returning to yourself. Is the clear way? Dharma questions that invite personal reflection. What is driving your life? How many times do you act just because someone says so? How many of your thoughts are of your own choosing? Ignorance is not just not knowing. It's about knowing that it's not right. And because we see the wrong way, we expect the wrong way. Suffering is also born from it. A little boy once asked his master, "What is ignorance?" I didn't answer. Just ask him to fill the glass with water and keep pouring. Water spills out. Uncle Quin Quang. I laughed and laughed. It was empty. When the mind is full of prejudice, I want to keep my eyes open and keep going. The Buddha taught, there's no enemy as great as ignorance. Ignorance makes us lose our morality. Ignorance makes us see no cause and effect. Ignorance makes us think that happiness lies outside. Then a lifetime of searching. Forgetting that true happiness lies in the mind that stops. Go back and enlighten yourself. Hello, dear friend. If you still feel confused today, if you still don't know the way to go, is it really meaningful or not? Please don't worry, because only when you realize you're lost, we can start coming back. And coming back isn't going far. It's about going back inside, back to the place where the soul was clear as the dew. Calm mind is the way of clear mind is home. From now on, practice stopping. Practice sitting still and listening to yourself, because one is no longer ignorant. No more wandering in the middle of life that they've really started to come back to. There was a very quiet noise, but echoes in my heart all my life. It's the sound of my tattoos whispering, "I'm just in time." My grandmother is better at bullying me than anyone else. Dear friend, sometimes we don't say Ra, we don't show Ra, but deep down I'm still there. Silently growing, silently manipulating. It doesn't need to speak up. Just be quiet. But in the mind is comparison. Distinguish implicit blame and contempt, network arrogance. No need to be noisy, because it's a very subtle shadow. But hold on tight. I remember once, a little young Buddhist came to me with great anger. "Mr. I see a lot of people who study Buddhism. I think I practice better than them." I smiled and asked back. That was when I saw them. "What are you thinking about?" He looked up and shut up. Right. As soon as we start thinking that we're better than others, it was then. The pride of life is already sitting still in my heart. I used to think that being religious meant understanding a lot, read a lot of books. But then I realized that a lot of knowledge is not necessarily enlightenment, because sometimes that kind of understanding can actually grow my ego, the ego of a person who thinks he understands the core. It doesn't matter how much you know. If the heart of the network is still starting phi, more people don't talk about themselves than people who are peaceful, who is silent. There was a young monk. After years of studying, I feel like I've understood impermanence, master the Dharma. One day I went to the old Zen master to teach him more. I just sat down and the young man talked. What are the Four Noble Truths? And then the Chinese. The old Zen master just poured tea. When the tea is full, he kept pouring water out. The young man hurried to stop. "Master, it's overflowing." The master smiled. "My mind too. It's too full, I can fill it." How many times have you thought you were right and you were wrong? How many times do you secretly think you understand, and others don't? How many times do you get angry just because the AI doesn't agree with you? What I am is not in the words. It's about attitude. The pride of life lies not in appearance, but in distinction. The Buddha taught painting in all traditions. Life is the most difficult to break. A true practitioner is one who humbles himself. Like earth, like water, like the rain wind. Dear, please slow down a little now. Close your eyes and wonder. Am I living with a silent self that I didn't realize? If so, don't blame yourself. Realizing is the first step to liberation. Dear friend, the internet is the darkness of spiritual practice. It makes us think we're moving forward, but actually we're moving backward. It makes me think I'm noble. But the heart is far from humility. And the magic is that it just takes a bow. Just listen to someone once. Just a grateful and silent thought. Then that I will melt like the morning dew under the sun. An adult who dares to be small. The light is the silent one. Someone who doesn't need to be right. Today, if you listen quietly up to here, maybe you're slowly melting away the invisible dust. Let me melt away in every breath. And instead of softness, there's light and compassion. For dear friends, have you ever wondered, can I love someone who used to hate me? Or you've never sat down on your own. Remember the people who hurt you. And instead of being angry, you love them. Not because they are miserable. That love, because I'm old enough not to hold a grudge in my heart. I love to understand that AI has been wrong. Ever lost and loved. It's a sign that our hearts are expanding. There was a young girl who came to the temple and cried a lot. For years I hated a schoolmate because she used to say bad things and humiliate me in public. I've held that grudge for 15 years, but the worse I get, the more tired I get. One day when her mother was very ill, you went to the hospital all night. My old friend was also there, with another dying relative. I saw her cry like a child, and in that moment the anger was gone. You tell me, for the first time I don't hate anymore. That I love. I used to think forgiveness was a weakness, but then I understood that forgiveness is power. The power of someone who doesn't want to hold a grudge. The enemy in the heart doesn't want to feed the ego. I just want to live a gentle and compassionate life. How many people have hurt you that you still hold in your heart? How many times do you think I can't forgive? But forgive them or free yourself. The Buddha taught to take hatred in response to hatred. This life cannot end hatred. Only compassion can destroy hatred. It's the law of eternity. They're an old bus driver. I have to carry a passenger every day. One day the Kier people shouted at me. The captain just smiled softly. The man next to me asked why he wasn't angry. Face say, I don't want to go to work every day and bring it home? Maybe they're angry at the world, not me. And if I get angry, I'm just like them. People hurt me, but my heart hurts me. When we embrace anger and live unpeacefully, to hurt the people who hurt us, the mind has touched the impermanent. Dear, close your eyes. Imagine in front of you is the person who hurt you. They're standing there with tired eyes, suffering faces. You can say a sentence, not just a sentence. I understand. And I forgive. Loving a cute person is normal. I love someone who has hurt me. That's true compassion, because that's when we're no longer alive. It's living with wisdom and understanding. We don't have to be near them. We don't have to forget. Just let go of resentment and keep a heart that carries no burden. Dear, if you are still angry with someone today, give them and give yourself a chance. Not to start over? It's not to continue carrying an unnecessary pain. You deserve to live a light life, not busy, not burdened, without resentment. Love is opening the door outside. I love people who used to hate me, is to open the door inside. And when the door opens, peace-loving mindfulness will enter. Have you ever, standing under an old tree and unconsciously bowing in thanks? Have you ever stopped by the green grass and seen? My heart is as soft as the evening sun. This life is not only human. There are trees with grass and birds. There's a little ant living among the stones. And there are dewdrops that quietly cool the flower's heart. When my mind opens up, not only to love people, but also to love animals, then the true compassion is born. I met an old man who lived alone in the forest. The day he picked vegetables, the kettle recited. Every step he took was as light as not touching the ground, I asked. Sao Tool stepped so lightly. She laughed a lot because under every step, it could be a sleeping creature. Loving people is precious, but I love insects. The grass and the earth are the Buddha's mind is beginning to grow. Girls used to be afraid of cockroaches, afraid of mice that have stepped on grass without knowing. I used to get upset when dogs bark. The birds make noise when I sing. Now that I think about it, I see. You're too young. Your mind is not wide enough. Your eyes are not deep enough. I only love what looks like me beautiful. And the ugly, scary little things. I was in a hurry to refuse. Does your compassion stop at the human form? Do you ever find your heart closed? In front of a hungry dog, a broken tree branch, or an ant crawling in the middle of a path? If so, don't blame it, because it's a reminder that you're about to take another step on the journey of expanding the mind. I remember a child taking his mother to the temple. When I got to the third floor, I bent down. The softest thing is a worm crawling out of the way. I asked if I wasn't afraid. I replied, very small. I'm afraid if someone doesn't see me. Just a small action. My heart is wider than many adults. Compassion doesn't have to wait until we've done something big. It starts with small things like that. Hands closed so the wind wouldn't hurt. The flower's wings are like slowing down so as not to heat the glass, like avoiding stepping on. An ant is finding its way back to the nest. Loving people is easy. To love the depths of new species. A drop of dew. It's also the Buddha nature within us. The Buddha taught, compassion is the foundation of all good deeds. Who's compassionate to plants and insects? The blessings are immeasurable. And in the Owl Sutra, he also emphasized, be kind to all beings, big or small. Far or near, visible or invisible. Maybe we can't save all the species. But don't be cruel. Maybe we can't embrace the whole earth. But be light. Be light. Because where there's mindfulness and compassion, there will be a resurrection of life. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself surrounded by countless beings, plant animals, the river of clouds, and you're standing in the middle with open arms. Send them a blessing. May everyone have a good time. May no one be left behind, blind deer. Unlimited compassion. Don't let yourself be just a small stream when you can be a gentle ocean. Learn from the little things, for it is the seeds of sacrifice. There will be great compassion in you. And when you love the species, you're not just living, that you're practicing bodhisattva. You're on the open road. The road where you walk. It is also where love is spread. Have you ever sat alone at night? I suddenly remembered someone who died. A relative, a friend, or just a glimpse of life. And you wonder, where are they now or in the world? There are souls who can't rest. They are still spirits. I have not escaped because of regret for the resentment, because the suffering has not been resolved, or because no one remembers them anymore. And if today you are listening quietly to these words, please open your mind. Let us pray for those souls to be blessed, born, abiding in the compassionate light of the 10 Buddhas. I met an old woman, sitting quietly in the main hall, eyes towards the statue of Kuan Yin. She clasped her hands and muttered something very quietly. I came closer, she said. Today is the day of my husband's death. It's over 35. But every time I close my eyes, he smiles. Be he lost suddenly without a word. I didn't have time to say goodbye. And for 15 years I've been praying. If there is an afterlife, I hope you are well. And if you're anywhere around here, please let it all go. She spoke softly like the wind. But in my heart there's a surge of emotion. I also lost a loved one. Every night, wet pillow. My heart sank every day when I remembered those eyes. I used to blame that voice. I was sad every day. Because nothing was done for them while they were alive. I only wish now that you were somewhere. Be gentle, go away. If you have gone to another world, please go to a safe place. You owe someone an apology. You have a loved one who's gone. You can't pray for them. And have you ever wondered, what can we do to help the spirits escape? Just need a sincere mind. Just a prayer from the awake heart. And if you really want to send them the light, love and peace. He is gone, but there is a love. An incense compress is an invisible bridge. Closing your hands is not just a ritual. It's a way to keep your loved ones quiet. I remember a young man who used to come to the temple to recite prayers. Every day you whisper a name. I asked the name of the boy, and the name of the friend I lost in the accident. I used to be angry with her. You haven't talked in half a year. I can't wait until you die. Sorry. Now every time you recite it, you recite his name. Not to do anything. It's just a way to say sorry. Slow, but still in time. Dear, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Imagine in front of you, you are a dead loved one, or a soul you've never known. But I need to be comforted. Put your hands together. May you be born into the good world. May you let go of your grudges and pray. The light of the Buddhas illuminates you on every path. The Buddha taught a sincere thought of the living. It may be able to solve some of the karma of the deceased. Recitation of devotional practice not only help the spirit escape, but also help yourself purify your mind. Dear friend, no one can stay forever. Sooner or later we'll cross the shore. But if you love those who died today, pray for the undead to live with deep remembrance and gratitude. You're actually sowing a seed of compassion. Deep in my mind, that seed will bloom someday. When you need light from somewhere else, and there's going to be that same AI as you are today, I'm clasping my hands praying for you. With all sincerity, a thought of devotion, a thought of liberation, a prayer, a river of peace. Dear friend, and sometimes the world has its own problems. The grievances, shield, misunderstanding, betrayal. There are things I thought I'd forgotten, but just a look, a word, a fleeting image, my heart tightened like the first day. There are people who no longer want to mention names, but I still can't let go. The grievances left if not resolved. It will be like a stone on your back. The heavier you go, maybe not just this one life, but also to the next life. So, today we learn how to use compassion to resolve the wrongs in the heart, to give myself back a way of peace. A middle-aged man came to see me at the temple. Looks quiet, tired. He told, I hated my father for 45 years because he left your mother when you were a child. I grew up in poverty, in tears and in hatred. I swore I would never forgive. But now my father is in the hospital. I can't remember who you are. I'm not sorry, but I see. My heart is hurting. I asked him what I want most right now. The next day, I just want to let go. Let your heart be at peace. I used to be angry. The people who have abandoned, I betrayed myself and hurt you. But then the more resentment, the more tired. The worse I get, the more I lose my peace of mind. You two realize it's not them who hurt the most. It's you. Are you still angry? There's no injustice you've never faced. Have you ever asked what you're holding this for? A soft answer as a testimony. To hold a grudge is to lock yourself in an iron cage. And forgive. It's opening the door to yourself out of suffering. The wrong BA does not need to be explained properly. It needs to be understood to let go. Hold resentment heavier, let the wind gently fly. A blessing arises, 1,000 wrongful fruits immediately dissolve. I have a friend who's an old doctor. When he was young, he was betrayed by his best friend. Lost both reputation and property. Years have passed. One day, he suddenly received the news that he was dying. In the hospital, no one takes care of it. The only person he expected to meet. It's because my friend's doctor left. Take care of yourself. Silently, without blame. When the Kiar died, he just said, I didn't come to forgive him. I came to free myself. The Buddha taught that hatred is not equal to hatred. Only compassion can solve it all. And he also said that hatred is the root of rebirth. When one knows how to let go of resentment, he is sowing liberation. Dear, close your eyes. Imagine in front of you the one who hurt you. Don't say anything, just smiling and thinking. I let go and pray for your peace. I no longer hold grudges or need an apology. Dear, there are things that don't need to be explained. It needs to be forgiven. There are grudges that don't need to be returned. It needs to be passed through the spear. Forgiveness does not weaken us. It makes my heart bigger. Because in the heart of a person who knows how to let go of the wrong, there's no more space for suffering to reside. Hate is a closed person. The one who lets go is the one who opens the door for the light to come in. Today, if you're remembering an old pain, please breathe deeply and whisper, I vow to be compassionate. Solve all wrongdoings for people. And for yourself. Have you ever? I saw a yellow leaf falling slowly in the autumn sky, and in that moment your heart is silent. When you see a loved one leave the world and suddenly realized nothing is forever, it's impermanent. It's a deep truth, and the most obvious that life always silently reminds us. And in that impermanence, if we don't hold on, no self, no preoccupation with anything, then we can live as light as a cloud. It's like water in the present. Even though life is always changing, I met a man in his late 80s, living alone in a small house in the quiet countryside. He laughed or drank tea. Or sitting with the bird against the wooden window, I asked, why do you live alone and still feel so happy? He laughed softly and replied, because he's used to everything leaving. His wife lost 15 children in the distance. Health is not the same as before, but the older he gets, the more he sees one thing: nothing is mine. Or the shore of Shichicho, tired shelter everywhere suffering. Just wake up every morning and drink a cup of tea. Watching the clouds is enough. I sat for a long time listening to him speak softly in my heart, and I understood that he was living completely in selflessness, impermanent to the universe. I was hurt when that AI left, suffering for losing money, losing a loved one. I used to think if I could keep it happy, but now I know it's only temporary. Nothing really belongs to you. Even this body will one day turn to dust. There's something you have to hold on to. You were most afraid of losing something, and if you really lose it, are you still yourself? What makes you feel insecure all the time? Because we are attached to me, we are afraid. Because I thought I had mine, I was sad. But if there's no fish, I'm fixed. Nothing is really mine. What do we have to lose? Gone is just a passing wind. White clouds flew by this morning. In the afternoon I saw no shadow. Who goes to the wind following? The mind does not hold. What is the king? I once guided a dying man. He cried, saying that there was more to be done. I haven't said sorry to you. I haven't hugged you again. Unfinished small house being built. I just held your hand and said, breathe in and breathe out right now. Everything goes through. Unfinished business is a matter of life. But letting go is a matter of religion. He gave a small smile before leaving. The Buddha taught that all things are impermanent. All French are selfless. If there is nothing to hold on to, there is nothing to suffer. And so do you. The one who sees impermanence is the one who begins to become enlightened. Meditation invites the listener to stop and return to mindfulness. Dear, close your eyes for a minute. Think of something you're clinging to. Maybe a person, a dream, a memory, a pain. Then ask your heart, if one day it disappears, I will not be happy at night. Can I accept it? I can live with a mind that doesn't dwell on anything, but still happy. Dear friend, We come to this life with nothing, and will also leave as light as the morning dew. If today you are concerned about the loss of separation for change, then listen to the Buddha's teaching that selflessness is letting go of the self. Impermanence is letting go of the clinging. The universe is not entirely inhabited by voices. And when you live with BA, you will see. It's a simple life that's much deeper. You don't need anything, just a mind in the present. Not clinging, not holding nowhere, but still shining like a full moon in the wake. Dear friend, after every penitential session, every time you meditate or a moment of awareness, there will always be a moment of silence in the heart. That's when we made a vow. A prayer doesn't have to be long, it just has to be sincere. A prayer that doesn't need American, just touch your heart. That prayer is the beginning of a life. There's a light direction, there's a daily practice. It's like a conscious habit, like a cool drop in the middle of a dusty life. I met an old Buddhist girl. Wake up early every morning, hands in front of the altar in the small kitchen. I ask you to pray every morning. No, you laugh. Not because of fear. I want to be kind today. I pray 3 things every morning. One is to say good words, and the other is not to make anyone sad. The A is living like today is the last day. Keep me quiet. That prayer is not great, but deep. Is a steady journey of awakening in the middle of life. I used to think these must be big rituals, long hours of meditation, but then I understood. Practice starts with very small things. A breath that knows you're breathing, a look of love, a sentence that doesn't hurt for the indiscriminate AI. And most importantly, I know every day to remind myself, live according to good prayer. Have you prayed for yourself this morning? Do you have a habit of mindfulness? If today is the last day, what do you most want to practice? Doing is not about doing your duty. It's about living each moment consciously. Have compassion, have mindfulness. Prayers are not to be read to the Buddha. It's to remind me not to forget the bright way. A prayer at dawn? It's a light in the midst of a dark spirit. A step between impermanence is practice. In the middle of the street, the dust flies. There was a man who washed his face and brushed his hair every morning. Stand in front of the mirror and talk to yourself. I will live today. Your picture is not religious. No chanting, no bowing to Buddha, but I haven't forgotten that curse one day in 15 years. You told me I was hot. He used to make people cry. But thanks to my advice every morning, I'm changing. It's not because of AI, it's because I don't want to be old anymore. The Buddha taught to make a lamp for yourself. Walk yourself with mindfulness, by virtue and wisdom. And he also teaches, who persevere in practice, even if it's just a small thing every day, greater blessing than those who pray and do not. Dear, you can put your hand on your left breast right now. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, how I want to live today? Or I want to sow something for the world through my eyes, your words and actions, and I can start over right now? No, dear friend. Don't wait until you have time to practice. Don't wait for the wind to blow. Then I started praying. It's about walking step by step in this life, with an awake heart. Prayer is a light shining every morning, so that we don't get lost in our own ignorance. From today, just need a blessing, a bright thought. A small action. One sentence. The Amitabha Buddha in mindfulness is also a practice. Practice is not for nothing, but to lose the resentment, the delusion of attachment, and find a peaceful mind again, bright and gentle as you are. Dear friend, after reciting for a while a Buddhist title, or do something good, have you ever clasped your hands and talked in your mind? I pray for this merit. It's a seemingly small act, but it's got tremendous metabolic power. It's not just about sharing merit. It's to shift your mind from the hold, to let go, from myself to other sentient beings, accept my death, sang of all, return direction. It's the art of giving with deep gratitude. I once knew an older woman. Every afternoon, sitting in front of the Buddha table in the small light room, a compress of incense and whisper something. One day I asked her, "You're reciting something. You laugh without saying much. Just pray for people you don't know." I think about sick people every day. People who are losing loved ones, the abandoned children. People who are suffering without knowing the way out. I don't have much. There's only one curse I dedicate to them. I hear that emotion. She didn't recite much, didn't read long. There's only one thing, the heart. I used to think devotion was the monk's job, but then I realized love is the work of a loving heart. I prayed for my own health. Peace is favorable. But then I understood. When I pray for others, my heart is light. My grandmother lost nothing, but there's a lot of inner peace. After doing a good thing you keep or you share? Have you ever prayed for someone you didn't know? And if you send a blessing to the world, did you lose anything? Devotion doesn't make you lose merit. Charity is to multiply blessings, because the mind no longer has eyes. Devotion is the transformation of the self into a flow of love to all. A curse, an afterglow scent in the breeze. Send to all species. No need for AI to know not to ask for revenge. I just want life to heal through my heart. There was a young man who lost his mother at a very young age. I'm often irritated and living in a sense of loss. One day I went to the temple, sitting quietly in front of the Buddha and just whispering, "Mom, if you were anywhere, I promise to be more kind every day so that you can be comforted." From that day I started to change. Don't pray for yourself. Pray for every good deed you do. All for my mother and the dead mothers in this world. I told you that every time I turn around, I don't see you near me. It's seeing you in everything you do. And my heart is also less suffering, the Buddha taught. Merit is not in keeping, but in giving or shore. It's a bridge between workers and all beings, and so do you. The mind no longer has its eye on merit. The blessing will be as great as nothing. Dear, you can close your eyes right now. Take a deep breath and think of a good thing you've done recently. A word of encouragement once to help that AI. A short time of Buddhist recitation. Then clasp your hands and gently pray. I commend this merit for all beings who are suffering, for those who are lost to find the light. Let yourself be gentle. Let go of the awareness, dear. No one lives forever in the world. To keep something for yourself. But if you know how to give back, everything you do, every word you say, every good thought that arises is not only beautiful for you, beautiful for the whole world. A prayer to send the wind. It's a flower that floats along the line. It's a silent blessing. It can reach places you've never been before, souls you've never met. And devotion is above all a way of opening up to the universe. Without asking for anything back, a drop of water that falls into a river becomes a great sea. A small merit in the right direction. It will become immeasurable. Let's live like that. Be gentle and know how to give. And let every breath, every good thought becomes a light for all. Dear, every journey has a stop. And the most beautiful stop. It's not the peak or the glory. It's a silence in the mind, where there's peace shining. But that peace is not given by the AI. It's not that somewhere brings. It's a flower that blooms out of awareness every day. Being awake is not just about sitting in meditation or chanting. It's living knowing you're alive. Breathe and know you are breathing. To go and know you're going is to say, and know whether your words are sowing good seeds or not. Peace is no longer needed. We just need to get back to being awake. There was a woman who used to go to the temple, but still sighing. I asked, "Why do you chant, recite the Buddha regularly, but still feel uneasy?" She bowed her head and said softly, "Because I recite it with my mouth, but my heart still thinks about everything. When reciting the Buddha mind, I remember the person who hurt me. I am alive, but not fully alive." I'm smiling, so start again today. Don't need to recite a lot. Just one sentence old Amitabha Buddha. The truth is present. She has been in tears since that day, but no longer sighing. I see your eyes are lighter. Because you're awake in every thought. I used to be. I thought I had to get this. To achieve that is peace. But the more you try to reach, the more you move. The more you want to keep your mind, the more you worry. One day you just need to take a deep breath. And I see, everything you need is in this moment. When you feel most at peace, are you in a quiet place? Or when you're loved and understood? And if everything outside is gone, do you still have that peace? No real peace. It doesn't come from circumstances, it comes from a conscious attitude. When you live mindful, no judgment, no blame, no eye contact. Peace will naturally bloom like flowers in the early morning. It's not the mountains that see the sky, it's whether my heart will sink or not. It's not when things are quiet that it's called it's that in the midst of the upheaval, my mind is still light as a cloud. There's a little boy in the temple. Every afternoon we water the trees. One rainy day, the tree had enough water, but he still carried the barrel to the yard. The master asked if the tree was enough. What did Ra do? I didn't water the tree today. I just want to water my mind with a peaceful habit. 4-spectrum subnod. Because of that small act, it is the expression of a mind that is aware of the moment. The Buddha taught that there is no path to peace, but awareness is the way. He also teaches people to be mindful. Even in the middle of the market, it's like being in the temple. Guys, let go of your thoughts right now. Don't try to understand. Don't do anything. Just sit still and breathe. Breathe deeply and whisper in my grandmother's mind that I'm here. Completely in this moment. Now I'm not looking big anymore. I'm alive, and that's enough. Dear friend, we have been on a journey together. To let go. Transform self-compassion, forgiveness. And now you're sitting there doing nothing. But just to be present in a peaceful mind. Being awake, dose and tea help you do more. It will help you suffer less. Doesn't make you that other AI. It helps you come back to yourself completely. Peace is not far away, as long as we live in every step. In every mindful word. In every breath, without hurry, without fear. And if you can live like that, even if life is stormy, you'll still be as peaceful as the morning lake,